Wouldn't life be so much easier if we knew exactly what other people were really upset about? This is possible, but it requires a radically different way of being in conflict or tension of any kind. I'm Amanda Ripley, a certified conflict mediator and co-founder of Good Conflict. We help leaders like you rethink conflict through our courses, our free resources, and our trainings. Today, we're going to share what might be the most powerful tool in our toolbox, one that helps us uncover the deeper issues at play in every argument or conflict, a technique called looping. Every conflict, remember, has an issue on the surface that seems to be the problem, but there's always something else underneath. We call that the understory. We've already talked about the understory in a separate video on this channel, so if you haven't seen it yet, be sure to check it out. In today's video, we're going to dive into looping, where it came from, why it matters, and the possible outcomes when it's done well. I am not exaggerating when I say that adding this skill to your toolkit can absolutely change the way you show up for your friends, your partners, strangers, the people you work with. Let's get started. So you might be wondering, in real life, how do I find the understory? It's not going to just magically appear, right, in the middle of a heated conversation. This is when things get fun. We're about to share our favorite tactic for investigating the understory. It's a way to help you glimpse the understory and create good conflict more quickly during tense situations.
It's called looping, and it's a form of tactical listening that we learned from the Center for Understanding and Conflict. It is probably the easiest way to get better, deeper insights from people, but it rarely happens. As journalists, we spent decades interviewing people before we learned this, which is quite honestly a bit embarrassing when we think about this right now. But back then, we thought that good listening just meant nodding and, smiling at the appropriate times.
Right, like this.
Yes.
See what I'm doing here? Oh, yes. But we were wrong. People can tell when you're really listening and when you're not. And it turns out that they decide if you're really listening based on your words, much more so than on your nonverbal cues. Your words can prove without a doubt that you're really trying to understand the person. Now, what about you? How would you rate your listening skills on a scale of 1 to 10? What about the people around you? How often do you feel truly heard by them?
This matters because when people feel heard, they will say different things. They make more coherent and revealing points. They acknowledge their own doubts. They become more flexible. In other words, what they do is crack open the door that leads to the understory.
And when they don't feel heard, they start to say more extreme things. They get louder, in other words. They reveal less and accuse more. They do things that inflame and distort the conflict and enrage the rest of us. That's why we're going to learn how to loop and ask you to practice it the next chance you get.
This is the single most popular and impactful skill we teach, so we are fired up. Basically, it's a way to prove to the other person that you heard them. Some of you, we know, may have had listening training in the past, which is great. We found that you cannot get enough practice with this, especially since it's something we want to be able to do automatically under stress.
Right. And for some of you, for people who have felt invisible or silenced in the past, you might need to be heard first before you can listen. We want to acknowledge that before we go on. You get to decide if and when you loop. But for us, it's something we use every day now in our personal and professional lives. We use it in every interview. We use it with our families, our friends, with taxi drivers, and even strangers on the subway. It is truly a superpower, and we are always working to get better at it. Now, it's important to remember that you need to practice looping in a low-stakes setting. That's what we help you do in our full self-paced digital courses. Once you've gotten good at looping, people tend to respond really well. They'll often reveal things about themselves to help you identify the true understory of the conflict. And they might even listen to you. Of course, in the real world, it doesn't always work that way. We can't force other people to listen, unfortunately. But looping gives you the chance to understand what's really going on, regardless of the outcome. In my experience, even if the other person doesn't open up, looping helps me stay more present and less reactive, which is a better way to live on this earth and a better way to fight. If you like this video and want to learn the 4 steps of looping and practice them yourself, check out our full-length Good Conflict Masterclass or our intro course. These are self-paced, dynamic courses that help you learn to thrive and communicate even in our current volatile age. This video was a sneak peek of the kinds of things we teach there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.